So by the time you're DJing clubs when you're 14 and stuff, is this actually making you money? Are you actually doing well? No.
I'm earning like £50 a show.
Okay.
And then, I started doing pirate radio, which is, a massive part of my journey as well. Where
that
you
was
had to pay.
huge. That was huge in Europe, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
Pirate radio was huge, and I started doing a radio show on Raw FM, which was like the proper hood station. And it was like the radio stations would be in lift shafts at the top of a tower block. Or like in the old, like a trap house, like where it's just like wild in there. And so like, it was like super illegal. So at the time I was young, going and doing these shows, and you have to pay to be on the radio, you have to pay subs. So you used to pay like £10 a show. And then by the time I was like 17, maybe 18, I was doing 7 different shows on 7 different pirate radio stations a week.
Wow.
Yeah, like just really just trying to get out there.
Doesn't the fact that was illegal seem so hilarious now in the age of the internet?
And how serious they took it as well.
Yeah.
How, the police would come through the door.
Right.
And they'd take everything. They'd take your radio, your equipment, your records. It was wild. You get a mad fine. You didn't pay the fine, you go to prison.
Right.
When you think about it now, it's like, what? Crazy.
Yeah. The internet has made everything so easy,
Oh, yeah.
but at the same time kind of remove some of the allure of stuff like that. When you look back on that, it's like, I mean, it has the word pirate in it, so
it was
says
crazy.
a lot.
Great days.
Definitely. So, okay, where do you go through there as you're kind of like getting out of high school and shit?
So then at that point, I'm thinking, DJs don't get no heat. DJs, they ain't getting no love, and they ain't making no money. So I'm gonna be a rapper.
Ah, okay. I was wondering if that was gonna be part of the story.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a rapper. So then I started trying to rap. And obviously a lot of people around me at the time, I knew a lot of these guys. Like I said, from a kid, I was going to these events and putting up to studio sessions. So I knew a lot of these guys. So I thought, this is easy for me. Let me just start rapping. So I did that. I was pretty shit, to be fair. I weren't great at all. And at the time I thought I was the man. I was like, I'm so sick. Right. But then listening to other people at the time who were from the same generation of me, who have gone on to be like superstars in the UK, I was like, nah, like these guys can really, really rap. Right. So I'm not even gonna waste my time.
So did you ever like even get down to like recording and stuff?
Yeah, I made some records, and I put records out, and I had some success with it, to be fair. I had some success with it, but I was a realist at the time. And I thought this is not my big picture.
Right. So you figured out that wasn't gonna work.
Yeah. So I started producing.
Ah, okay.
Then I started producing records for artists. I made loads of records for different artists. And then I come to a point in my career where I had spent 2-3 years self-educating myself on all aspects of new media. So I taught myself how to edit on Final Cut Pro. I was using Logic. I knew how to edit audio on Logic.
So this is very deliberate. You're like, I'm gonna learn all sides of this.
I want to be a beast. I want to be a monster. I taught myself how to use After Effects. I was coding on Dreamweaver. All aspects of new media, I just took time out myself and educated myself.
That's amazing, because most people will like learn one trick. They'll learn to shoot a music video, or they'll learn to make a beat, and then they just grind that skill set for the next 30 years.
Yeah, nah. I was all about self-progression and just being the best. And at the time, so then obviously I spent a lot of time teaching myself how to edit. So then I started editing, and I was editing for big brands. I was doing stuff for like a big radio station, Kiss FM, Adidas. I was like doing good content, which was giving me a little bit of money to get by. Right. And then it got to the point where I'd educated myself on all these aspects of new media. I was still immersed in the culture and the industry, but I weren't really getting a break, and no one was really taking me seriously. So at the time, I sat down with a guy who's still part of my team now, Ara. He used to run Jump Off, which was like the biggest rap event in the UK, and I was actually editing for him. That's how we met. Okay. And he actually come round. So I was living in a shed at this point.
A shed?
A shed.
Like behind somebody else's house in the backyard?
Yeah, I was living in a shed, had no sanitation, no toilet, and my first son had just been born.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so for me it was like, yo, this is pretty deep. You know, like I weren't in a good space financially at all.
It's like, I love the culture, but at a certain point, if it's gonna mean that I'm living in a shed and not able to take care of my kid, maybe I'm gonna have to forget about that.
And you know what, I was at that point, where the mother of my child was like, yo, like this is not cool. Like we haven't even got a shower. Like we have to go to other people's houses to get a shower. Right. And for me, I'm like, I'm not giving up. Like I'm so close. I know I can feel it. She's like, whoa. Her parents would come round and be embarrassed And he'd be like, what are you doing with this bum? You know what I mean? Like, who is this bum?
How'd that make you feel?
At the time, obviously mad upset and frustrated and a little bit frustrated with myself. Like, am I deluded?
Yeah.
Like, should I really be doing this? Am I selfish? Am I chasing a dream to fulfill my insecurities and pamper my ego? Or is this something that I can really achieve? And this was the same time when Aaron had come round to where I was living, my shed, and I was editing. And he's like, yo, you're fired. And I'm like, what? I'm fired? Why am I fired? What have I done wrong? How are you gonna fire me? And he's like, you're too good to be an editor. You need to take this stuff seriously, and I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna manage you. But you gotta do it right, you gotta do it proper. So I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. So then we came up with this show called Being Charlie Sloth. At the time, YouTube was very fresh. YouTube was just starting out.
And what year are we talking?
This is like 2007, 8.
Right when you started to be able to monetize a bit?
Yeah. So YouTube was still very fresh. People didn't really understand how to use it. And at the time, vlogs were massive. Every rapper in the UK was doing a vlog.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not doing that shit.
This is like the era where Joe Budden vlogging his relationship was starting to kind of take off in America.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I used to love Budden.
Right.
I used to love, like, not so much that side of him, but his like the Mood music series.
Yeah.
At that time in my life, that was my shit.
Right.
So watching him make that transition, yeah, it was around that same time. And I was like, I don't want to do that. For me at the time, I was like, that's hella corny.
Right.
I'm not talking into the camera, talking about what I've been doing, and I didn't feel like it represented me.
Right. Okay, guys, we want to thank you so much for getting us to 100,000 subscribers right here on the Clips channel. If you want to support, please click that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 200K. Thank you so much.